Hello, everybody. You're watching the McAllister Hours. I am your host, Colin McAllister, and with me today is probably one of my closest friends. We've been knowing each other for a number of years. I could not start this podcast off with anyone else. Please welcome RJ Koontz. Here, This is our first run, so everybody bear with us. Here, try talking again. Fuck. Try getting a little closer, maybe.
Got it? Okay, now we're going.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I need to get a new mic. You're gonna be struggling with the distance a little more than I am.
All right.
We are good. We'll snap who in the beginning there, but that's all good. So, like I said, here in the studio today with RJ Koontz, starting this off.
Koontz.
Ah, fuck. I already fucked it up right off the bat.
That's all right.
So, how you doing today, RJ?
Doing great. Feeling pretty good, man. Got a job again, so,
Yeah, that's good to be working. And tell everybody, where are you working? What are you doing?
I work at Bravo. It's an Italian restaurant. I just run food. I clean, just all kinds of different stuff. It's pretty fun. It's money coming in. It's not a lot of money, but hey, a job's a job.
Exactly.
Last few months have been rough. I lost my mom and everything, so getting back to reality has been a little tough, but I'm back there now, so.
That's good, man. I'm glad to hear that. So I know we wanted to talk shop on politics. RJ's pretty heavily involved politically, but before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about Palmer's. Maybe tell a couple stories from that. What do you think?
How far back do you want me to go?
I mean, you were working there longer than I am. I started at the end of 2015. That's when I met you back at the West Des Moines location.
So I started like 3 years before you did, and I don't know. There's a lot of things that went on there that were just like, wow, you couldn't believe what you were seeing. Specific stories that were really funny. I mean, I could go on all day, but without mentioning any names.
Yeah. Let's try to avoid that.
Let me think. There was this one time where I was on deliveries and I came back to the store and my boss was like, "Oh, I need you to run a pickle to these people." I'm like, "One pickle? Really? One pickle? I gotta run a pickle out to somebody?" I'm like, "Okay, if that's really what you want me to do, I'll go run them a fucking pickle, and it's gonna take me 20 minutes to get out there." So just little things like that.
Yeah. Really nitpicky.
Like a pickle, right?
Well, and for those who might not know, the pickles at Palmer's are free. So for them to waste manpower to just deliver a free item like that, we're not going to name the name of the company, but that company fucked us in the ass, definitely, plenty of times.
True.
Tuesdays were hell. Basically how it worked was there were individual orders that came in for a group order, and how each order was printed individually on one piece of paper. So you would be doing orders, there'd be probably 40 to 75 different
40
orders.
to 70 different pieces of paper.
Yeah, for one group.
And they all had to be on their own check.
Yep.
So it was all online and it was a real pain in the ass, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And that's not to include any of the other orders we had, any other group orders, sandwich trays, catering. Working at that place was kind of a fucking mess. I don't know how they're still.
Well, now it's so out of control because you have a certain somebody who wants to take over the whole damn joint, And like I said, I won't mention any names, but I think we all know who that person is.
Those are in the circle, yeah. Take a trip to Ingersoll, and you'll
Exactly.
get a taste of that.
Exactly. I'm just glad I'm not there anymore, honestly.
Yeah, really corrupt company.
There was more stress than what it was worth, basically. I mean, and you know, because, you know, you've been through that. You were at downtown for a while.
Yep.
It was very unorganized and fucked up. I mean, you saw how that place was run.
So, besides the pickle experience, do you have any, I mean, I can name...
Why don't you tell me a story about
tell you a story?
Because I think you were still there in 2016 when I moved to Michigan.
Yep.
Were you?
Yep.
So there must have been something that happened when I wasn't around.
There was the issue with the manager's son. That was pretty bad. There was a lot of nepotism. Basically, this manager had 2 kids, both older, mid-20s. One of them was my age, and he was an asshole. He didn't know fucking anything. He was an idiot, and I struggled a lot working with him. Again, not naming names, but those who know us and work there with us know who I'm talking about.
He was a man-child, you know.
Yeah,
that's my definition of him. But kind of clueless.
Yeah.
But I heard now that he's apparently he's an executive chef or some kind of chef. And that kind of scares the hell out of me. He's like, this guy's a fucking chef, and I've been doing this shit longer than him. So I don't know. That always baffled me, but I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting times at Palmer's.
It was a learning experience, definitely.
Yeah.
But I will never work for that company. I don't care if they beg me to come back.
Yeah, I think I would run the same way because they have no control. The people that the system is, there's no HR. I mean, there's technically an HR, but I mean, I didn't find out about HR until right before I quit. I mean, it's not something that they bring to the table.
Their HR is one person.
Yep, for 4 stores,
and it's just a clusterfuck.
Yeah, and there's nepotism in the high ranking too, which that makes it an issue. I mean, let's say you wanted to go to the HR about the people up top, you're fucked.
Oh yeah, they'll get rid of you.
Yeah,
they'll find a way to push you out. They've been doing that for years.
Yeah, food service is brutal. I'm really glad I got out of that.
Well, you're doing better now, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all that matters, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad to be your guest today, and
yeah, this is fucking awesome.
Anything's on the table, so
anything's on the table. All right. Yeah, I can't think of any crazy Palmer stories off the top of my head. It was just,
I mean, there was so many that, you know,
it all blends into like one.
Look, for instance, my friend Laura that died last week.
Yeah.
She worked for them back when I started, and she was drunk all the time. Here's a funny story. It's not really funny because she was a severe alcoholic, and she's dead now. But this one day, she came in drunk, and one of the co-workers, they were kind of good friends, and he walked by her and like pushed her head into the scale, and like slammed her head into the scale.
The meat weighing scale?
The weighing
Jesus
scale.
Christ.
And she just stood there for like 5 minutes going, "Oh, that hurt." And like, she could barely even walk and shit. She had a bruise on her head like immediately. So you know that she had like jaundice or liver problems and shit.
Oh, damn.
And she just stood there. And I remember her last day, she came in and she was drunk. She was totally drunk, and she told off the manager, and she got fired. And she fell into the dishwasher. And she's like, they had to drag her out of there.
Jesus.
But I mean, that was one of the crazier stories.
I remember there was a coworker of mine. I wasn't there at the time, but I heard this legendary story about the woman who came in trashed. She was drinking alcohol in the store, and in the West Des Moines location, there's a big pole that's like in the center of that back prep area, and this woman just is singing la 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 la, like swinging around the pole.
That was I think my friend told me about her. That was before Laura, and she would drink like the liquor that was for like, you know, catering.
Oh, really? Like under the
under the catering station. So she would like sneak the bottles and pour them in a cup and like act like she was drinking water when the whole time she's drinking pure liquor. And they let that crap go on for God knows how.
Oh yeah. There's so many stories of that store, people drinking on the job.
Even downtown, when I was downtown, there was this one girl, and again, I mention names, but man, she would just, it was like her personal party. She'd go in the back, drink whiskey right out of the fucking bottle, and like, you could tell she was messed up, but the manager didn't care. He's like, well, I don't know, I don't care. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar.
So, the bald guy, that's all I'm going to say. The bald man. That's about right.
Yeah. That motherfucker. But yeah, just a crazy environment to work in. Food service in general is just...
Well, that place was even more stressful than a regular food. It was just like out of control. There was no standards. There was no consequences. You could do whatever the hell you wanted. Hell, you could steal. I mean, they had no way of tracking anything. It's ridiculous. Is my mic cutting out a little bit? Or
yeah, it's been... Okay.
Well, it's just a trial run. But.
Yeah, it's not... I don't think it's too bad, but I'm definitely going to need to invest in a new mic here. Sorry about that.
No, just see, I'm not hearing it again.
Yeah, fuck. We might have to adjust this on break.
All right. Okay.
We're good for now, though.
I think that's a little better now. Yep.
Yeah. Fuck.
Like I said, guys, just a trial run.
This is just a trial run. I'm not sponsored by anyone. I don't have any money. So if anybody wants to donate.
We're not letting down our sponsors or anything. Our sponsors have no reason to worry because we don't have any.
Yeah. There are no lines we can cross at this point.
We're not going to get fired here.
Yeah, exactly. I am my own... I mean, I'm not making any money, but if I was making money, I would be my own boss in a sense.
Right.
Yeah, I got Patreon. Donate to that fucking shit.
There you go.
I don't want to work anymore. I don't want to go to school. I just want to do this.
Start plugging your music, man. Plugging your music.
Yeah, album in the works. I got a single on Spotify. If anybody actually wants to listen to that, they can go for it. I don't know. But anyways, enough about Palmer's. You want to...
Yeah, enough about...
Yeah.
I'm not hearing anything on my mic.
Not hearing anything for you.
Time out. Okay, hold on.
Okay, all right.
Figure out this mic thing.
Yeah, why don't you do that? Let me try to fuck with this a little bit. Jesus Christ.
Is it weird? My voice in my head is deeper.
Is what?
Is deeper. Is that normal?
Yeah, I've noticed that too. It's this...
Like I'm like really deep voiced.
Yeah. I got the same thing going on.
But that's just like okay. Are we live right now?
Not live. I mean, we're recording, but we're not live. Yeah, we're good. Okay. We're about 15-minute mark. We're gonna try to take a break every half hour.
Cool. Okay, I just grabbed a beer, so I think I'm good for a minute.
Good for a little bit. Yeah, let's talk politics.
Oh boy.
You want to get straight into, well, that's kind of the grand finale for all this. So is there anything else you want to get into before getting into politics?
Nope.
Music?
Let's get right into it.
Let's get right into it. Fuck. So the big thing that happened today was Mike Pence was appointed to handling the coronavirus.
Right. That actually happened yesterday, but yes. I watched the conference. It was interesting.
Elaborate on that. How would you say interesting?
I knew this was coming because when the media, when I say media, I mean like mainstream media, I feel like they're panicking everybody to the point where, he had to come out and do this response and have a news conference. And now, like, the Democrats are blaming President Trump for not being prepared for the coronavirus.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I don't know. Anybody could be the president. And can't just, I don't know. I think there's still a lot of divisiveness going on.
oh yeah, 110%.
I mean, this disease, it could be serious. You got folks like Rush Limbaugh who are calling it just the common cold, okay? And that's very possible, but there's other folks saying that it's more contagious than the flu.
I mean, there is a 7 to 10 day incubation period. That, in my mind, scares me.
Because you could have it and not show symptoms for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And not know that you're spreading it.
Exactly.
Which is a big problem. But we don't really know what's going on yet. I mean, this is a pandemic in China. It's not here yet. And now the mainstream media is telling us, oh, it's going to be here. Get ready. And I was telling you earlier today before we got here that if they cause enough panic, people are going to stop going to work. People are going to stop going out. It's going to affect the economy. Look what it's done to the stock market.
Yep.
2,000 points in the last 2 days. And I get the panic because of trade, stuff like that. This is just, I don't know. I really don't know. It's kind of too early to talk about this coronavirus.
You think it's too early? You don't think? I mean, there have been cases in Wisconsin, and Omaha, and Nebraska,
and there's cases in Michigan. And I guess my biggest concern is the one that came out of California last night, which isn't tied to China. It's not.
I didn't hear about that. So.
It's not linked to any other country. This person apparently never traveled to China.
Oh, really?
So this could be a big thing, but they don't know at this point how this person got it because they didn't travel anywhere. So there could be a few people that aren't quarantined that should be. I don't know. Kind of a big deal. I don't.
It is a really big deal. I mean, at least from what we've heard, I think it's hard to. I think a lot of the big problem is it's hard to say because China has tried to keep this on the down low so much.
And China's been doing some shady shit.
Oh yeah, really shady shit.
I heard, now I don't know if this is true, but a couple of sources that I saw said that they were burning bodies alive to try to contain the pandemic over there. Now, I don't know if that's true, but I saw 2 different sources that said that. I guess China operates differently than we do here, but
oh yeah,
we wouldn't be burning bodies to try to cover it up, or I don't know. I think they're doing some shady shit, but how would we know? We wouldn't know.
Exactly, and that's the problem with how the government works over there. It's so, that's one of the biggest problems with this the communist social thing is you have this end result like China, where it's so controlled and the government is so focused on one person or a group of people that they can cover almost anything up.
Right. And, you see those news feeds from China and everybody's wearing those face masks, right? Now, the panic is so severe now, thanks to the media. Face masks are selling out in stores in record numbers. People are actually buying into this. I don't know, a face mask is not going to prevent you from getting sick. It might help, but I mean, if you're going to get it, you're going to get it. What's a little dust mask going to do?
I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't know the science behind that, how that works. But I mean, it's not airborne, from what I understand.
It's not airborne yet. I don't know. Just what I saw in the news about these. There was this reporter that went out to a Walgreens in Chicago today.
Okay.
And he was looking, for face masks or whatever, and they were all sold out, gone.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously the panic by the media is working.
Yeah.
But I mean, here in Des Moines, I've seen maybe 2 people wearing those.
I haven't seen any of that either.
But it's not going to help you. I mean, I don't know.
in the grand scheme of things, if it's between getting it and not getting it when it comes to a face mask is probably not going to do too much.
Right.
But
it's highly contagious, so,
maybe.
By touch, you don't have to just inhale anything. You can touch somebody and get it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're trying to say. Now, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But the fatality rate in China is way higher. I don't know why that is. Then I heard mostly elderly people were dying from this, just like the flu. And I heard another statistic yesterday. I listened to Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah.
So on his show yesterday, he was saying, 61 to 90,000 people a year die from the flu in this country. Just the flu. And most of them are elderly, So he's kind of trying to downplay this coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, he is. But, he's not a doctor. But I think he can see, through all the bullshit. And the media is just... I don't trust the mainstream media, basically.
I don't either.
They tell us what we should hear or what they want us to know, I don't know.
There's a lot of money involved. I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of these articles I pulled up are for NPR, which, that for the most part comes from donations. I guess
True.
Everything comes from donations, but it's not the same as CNN.
NPR is not like MSNBC,
Exactly.
CNN, ABC, any of those. NPR, yeah, I would trust that organization more than them.
Exactly.
But there's other people saying that, this is the Democrats' way to try to get Trump out again, to blame him for the coronavirus because he wasn't prepared. I disagree with that because he had no control over that. That
is true. For how fast it happened, I don't think anybody could have really. What are you gonna do? Stop everybody from coming in?
I thought he handled that. Did you watch the whole press conference?
I did. I didn't watch any of it, to be honest.
Okay, so I watched it last night just to be prepared for this show today.
Mm-hmm.
And, he seemed more presidential when he was talking about this than anything else. He's like, we're prepared, we're going to do this. He made Pence technically the disease czar for this thing. And, I think they're taking it seriously. But I think the media is just causing a lot of panic, which is pretty sad.
Yeah.
Pretty sad.
No, I agree.
Don't get me wrong. It's a serious thing. This could be a pandemic, but why blow it out of proportion so early? It's like the mainstream media does that all the time with everything. They did it with the impeachment. They did it with the Russia hoax. They did it with the Mueller thing. They always do it. I don't know. I'm getting off my point here.
No. I do agree. I think you have to be careful. One of my big criticisms about Donald Trump is
don't be rude.
Oh no, it's not that one.
You are fake news. You are fake news.
Well, that's true.
Well, but the problem when you paint anything to be fake news is that it leaves leeway for any criticism against you to be labeled as that. Therefore,
here's the other thing. I'm glad you put that on there, fake news, because a lot of the Democrats are saying that his press conference on this yesterday was fake news. He never said that. He said they're kind of like overplaying it, just causing panic. But yeah, he does. You got to understand, if he didn't have Twitter, he would have no way to reach his supporters or his base because the news media hates him for the most part. Hell, Fox News, okay, but even some people on Fox News don't support him anymore.
It's true.
So it's like he has to use social media to connect to it. So I don't know. Yes, I understand what you're saying about that. And calling the news agencies the enemy, Hitler did that too, but you can't compare Trump to Hitler. That's totally unfair comparison.
Yeah. He definitely has similar political strategies, but I think you could argue that about probably anyone.
But here's another thing. Hitler took away everybody's guns. Trump doesn't believe in that.
It's true.
There's a lot of things. They call Trump a Nazi and shit, and they call him Hitler.
I don't think that's fair.
Right, and they've been doing that since he was even before he was elected.
Yeah.
He's gonna, even I had my worries before he got elected. I always liked what he said, and I don't know. This whole coronavirus thing, I think, is a big distraction from the election. Like, that's what I think. But that's my opinion.
So, you think that the focus on the coronavirus that's caused to be a big distraction from Trump, or do you think that the actual coronavirus is manufactured to?
No. I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any means. What I do believe, it does distract from the election. We have an election this year, and you got Bernie Sanders, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, it's funny because Nancy Pelosi last year said, we can't have a socialist to get the nomination for our party. But yesterday she said, oh, if he gets the nomination, we'll support it. So what are they really thinking? Do they want a socialist? Do they not want a socialist? And then, if Bernie does get the nomination, Trump's going to wipe the floor with him. I told you that. There's no way the majority of this country is going to vote for socialism.
I mean, I agree. There, even this early, there are criticisms to Bernie. I don't have it pulled up. I can maybe pull it up on break.
I know that you supported Bernie in 2016.
I did up to a point.
But look what happened at the convention. He got screwed. Now, apparently, there's new rules, like we talked about, superdelegates.
No superdelegates.
But now, there could be a broker convention. We don't know what's going to happen. You got South Carolina coming up, I think, in a couple of days. And then you got Super Tuesday. Whoever has the most delegates is going to be the nominee. That's what Pelosi said.
Didn't South Carolina already happen? Didn't that happen yesterday or 2 days ago?
No, that's going to be in a couple of days, the primary. Okay. And Joe Biden looks to win it, but he hasn't won any other primaries. Bernie's in the lead. If Joe Biden thinks by winning one state that he's going to be the nominee, he is sorely mistaken.
Yeah, no, I agree. That man has no chance.
I think it's going to be Bernie. Nobody else. I was talking to my father the other day, and he actually said Warren needs to drop out. Yep. Buttigieg needs to drop out.
He's got a chance.
I mean, not for the nomination, though.
You don't think so?
No. He doesn't have enough support. Unfortunately, I think he's a pretty straightforward guy, but definitely
he appeals to the Midwest quite a bit.
Right. I mean, he rallied more than anybody over there, but he's. I really think that Bernie is. I mean, I think the Democrats are really pissed off about that. Now they're trying to backtrack everything they said a year ago. Like, we don't want him. Now we want him. So which one is it? Because I guarantee you, man, if Bernie gets a nomination, what do you think his chances are on beating Trump? What do you think? Look at. It
depends.
Look at Trump's base. Okay, Bernie's got a pretty big base. When he holds rallies, there's a lot of people in there. And you know what Bernie's strategy is? He gives away free beer and he has cool bands and shit. Yeah,
everybody does that.
Trump doesn't give away free beer and have cool bands, but I don't know. It's kind of close to that. I mean, I think Bernie's the only one who has a chance against him.
Yeah.
None of these other candidates do, especially not Joe Biden.
I mean, especially when you think about the fan base.
Well, Bernie's got a following, kind of like Trump. I mean, it's a huge following. Whether you call them Bernie Bros or whatever you want to call them. I mean, those people don't leave his side no matter what he says. Kind of like Trump's supporters, you know. His base is huge. We've been following him since he announced he was running.
So I'm trying to find the video.
Oh, New York Times. New York Times.
Yep.
They've been friendly to Trump and sometimes not.
Yeah, they're interesting. I'm trying to pull up that video with Bernie.
Oh, from the debate last night?
Yeah, when they booed him. Let me see if this is
Oh,
it.
when they called him a social... Yeah, this is great. I remember this.
I don't know if this is the clip. I
think it is. I remember watching the clip.
$4.5 trillion a year. We get $3.5 trillion in revenue. We lose $1 trillion a year. That's why the federal budget deficit is right now. The debt is $20 trillion going up to 21. We just cannot afford some of the stuff people talk about. But if you let me finish. If you keep on going, we will elect Bernie. Bernie will lose to Donald Trump. And Donald Trump and the House and the Senate and some of the state houses will all go red, and then between gerrymandering and appointing judges for the next 20 or 30 years, we're going to live with this
Mayor
catastrophe.
Bloomberg, thank you. I will allow Senator Sanders a quick response, and
Thank
then
you very
Senator
much.
Warren. Senator Sanders, a quick response, and then
Thank you very much. Mayor Bloomberg has a solid and strong and enthusiastic base of support. Problem is, they're all billionaires. Now, if you look, on the other hand, of the last 50 polls that have been done nationally, Mr. Bloomberg, I beat Trump 47 of those 50 times.
That's bullshit.
If you look at battleground states like Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, polling just
the polls aren't the election.
I beat Trump. And if you want to beat Trump, what you're going to need is an unprecedented grassroots movement of black and white and Latino, Native American and Asian people who are standing up and fighting for justice.
Can anybody
That's what our movement is
in this
about.
room imagine moderate Republicans going over it?
Well, that was a boo. That wasn't the one I was thinking of, though.
No, I know the one you're talking about. I watched it, and there was one point in that debate where everybody up there was literally screaming at each other. You couldn't even hear what they were saying. It was like little kids holding their hand up. Call on me, call on me.
See, and that's the problem. You can't take any of these people seriously when they're acting like that. I mean,
and those moderators did a horrible job. They had no control over that debate. Everybody was going out of control. Call on me, call on me. It was really fucking crazy. But I mean, Bloomberg, I don't even know why he's got a lot of money. That's probably why he's still in it.
It's really the only reason he's bought his way into this whole thing.
And he was so last minute.
Yep.
I mean, there's actually people saying that Hillary Clinton or Michelle Obama could still get into this late in the race. I don't believe it. But, people are speculating that. That's cutting it kind of close, don't you think? I mean, Hillary Clinton, again, that'd be a disaster. I don't know. I don't know about Hillary.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she's ever going to run again. That would be quite a shock.
Well, she's very bitter,
Oh, extremely bitter.
She still can't handle the loss.
I didn't really watch it, but I know she was on Howard Stern like a month ago, and she was still going on about it. 4 years later.
That's all she does is make excuses. It's the Russians. Everybody's a Russian agent. I guess me and you are Russians too.
Yep.
I guess everybody is. Niet. I am
from
Russian.
Russia. I drink.
Am I a Russian? Niet. No, I'm not. Not a Russian.
I drink vodka.
Vodka.
For breakfast.
Vodka for breakfast.
Vodka for breakfast.
No, that was a good clip. That whole debate was a fucking debacle, I'll tell you.
Well, yeah, and that's, like I said, that's the big problem. You could argue Trump maybe acted like that during his debate, but the RNC debating didn't seem like this. It didn't seem so.
I mean, there was fighting, but it wasn't everybody shouting over everybody.
Yeah, there's a little bit of respect still.
Trump wasn't very respectful.
No,
but, hey,
okay,
that's his style. You remember those debates? It was crazy, and the debates with Hillary.
I guess I was talking about the other people were pretty respectful.
Oh yeah, of course they were.
Yeah,
I mean, that move between Trump and Jeb Bush was pretty funny.
Yeah.
He's like, what did he say? Oh, you're a tough guy, Jeb. Oh, you're so tough. Yeah. Dude, he knows how to talk.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's a realist. He's not a politician. Donald Trump is not a politician. People need to remember that shit. He's a straight up, just normal guy trying to get shit done. And cleaning up Washington is the first step. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts, I will criticize. I don't think Trump is necessarily just a normal stand-up guy. I mean, he's been riding the top for most of his life. Now, I will say he probably actively tries to keep that mindset in line with everything. Jobs have improved massively thanks to him. I mean, those are statistics that you can't deny.
That's true. The unemployment rate is very low. Our military is back. It's back. It was depleted under the last administration, and I think it's important this day and age that we have the best military in the world so we can combat terrorism, shit like that. I know some people disagree with that. They think there's too much money in the military budget. However, I think it's necessary. I mean, terrorism is a real thing.
It is.
We don't see it every day anymore like we used to. Like here, since 9/11 or, that kind of stuff. But, I mean, I think it's better to prepare for it and be ready than not be ready. So that's why I think they're attacking Trump on the coronavirus, saying he wasn't prepared for this pandemic. Well, nobody was. I don't know.
Well, it is interesting. I guess the criticism that could come to him would be he has cut quite a bit of funding from
He has
to support the military, which, I mean, there's a lot of speculation on that. I personally am probably someone that doesn't think there should be as much money put into it, but at the same time, you can't disavow that the fact that the military is important. It is something we need.
Well, I sleep better at night knowing that I'm protected, on all sides. Like if some rogue country decided to launch a nuke at us, we can,
we can handle it.
We can handle that shit. Yeah. Like, try me, He's like playing a fucking poker game, and he has a lot of bluff hands, whatever. But I think this time he's not messing around. I just think a lot of the people on the other side that don't like Donald Trump, they just don't like the man. I think it's all about they don't like him. He's rude. He's crass. He's an asshole. Fine, but I mean, he's getting things done. At least what I can see. I don't know. Maybe I'm just one-sided.
No, I mean maybe. I mean, whether it's for good or bad, he definitely did quite a bit that first day he enacted quite a few bills. But I mean, I guess hasn't any other president done that too? Well,
yeah. I mean, I think they were talking about the budget cuts for next year, 2021, and he cut the food stamp program and the welfare program. But I think he did that to incentivize people to go to work because there's so many jobs now in this country. You don't need to depend on welfare and food stamps. You can get 1-2 jobs if you want. Hell, you could have 5 jobs if you want. You don't have to depend on government,
But I guess that's a good point.
The whole point is to get off of this depending on the government shit. Like, I don't know. Go ahead. I interrupted you.
I was just going to say that's kind of one of the criticisms is that a lot of people, like in New York, for instance, the average citizen in New York has to hold 3 jobs just to survive. I mean, is that really something people should have to do? Should they really have to work that much?
No, it's not something they should have to do. Let's say they want to do it. Let's say...
I think very few people want to do it.
Well, hell, I don't want to have 3 jobs. I mean, I have 1. At one point in my life, I had 2. And I could barely handle 2 jobs. But I was getting paid really well. The one job, I was getting paid $15 an hour. The other job, I was getting paid $12 an hour. But after a while, I just couldn't handle both jobs. But that was before. Now it's different. Like, I think more people want to go to work. Now, it's different, obviously, if you're poor and you have like 3 or 4 children and your significant other's in prison or something and you got to fend for yourself. and you need that government assistance, okay. But as long as you show an effort to work, they won't completely cut you off. See, people are misinformed about this whole thing. People are saying, "Oh, he's gonna end welfare forever. No food." No, there's certain people that have to have that can't work, like physically can't.
Yep. So disabilities.
They're basically taking that policy and they're making sure that these people aren't taking advantage of the system. Because I've seen people that are on welfare and food stamps driving $70,000 SUVs.
Yeah.
We got a big problem in this country.
There are people that take advantage of it.
And I think that he's trying to end that. So, I mean...
Yeah.
And people call him racist for that and all kinds of other things. But,
yeah, I mean, that's always the debate.
You know, you can't always blame, you always hear this from the other side. What I mean by their side's the Democrats. They want to say, oh, he's singling out black families. Oh, he's singling out Latino families. Oh, he's racist because the only people that need food stamps are not white. And that's not true because I know a lot of white families that are on food stamps.
Yeah, I mean, that's something people have to consider. Low economic status isn't necessarily affiliated with race.
Yeah, this whole race card thing is bullshit because I know white families that are... just as poor as any minority family.
Yep.
And they're working, and they still can't make ends meet. So it's very complicated. I mean, you know how politics, it's
iffy.
It's iffy.
It's an iffy issue.
We can segue into anything else you want.
Well, I was going to suggest we take a little break here.
Let's take a smoke break.
Yeah.
That sounds great. That sounds really great.
Smoke break. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Then maybe we could segue into music after that.
Yeah, there are a couple other political things I maybe wanted to talk about, but
sure. Yeah, it's your show. It's your show. It ain't my fucking show. It ain't my show.
All right, let's take a break. All right, and we are back. RJ in the house.
So you said you wanted to talk a little bit more politics here.
Yeah.
Oh my God, AOC. No, I didn't just...
No. We're not gonna talk about that would be an hour. I don't think we have time for that. I was going to burn some incense. Let's do that. Really
Yeah. Yeah, she's been pretty quiet lately. I'm surprised by that.
Who, Warren?
AOC.
Oh, AOC. I saw something today. It's actually, I don't like AOC. But I will give her this credit. She wants to implement something where people who don't have that kind of the political and financial means to be able to more effectively run for president and elected positions. So I think that's pretty cool. You got a lighter?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I guess we're lighting incense now.
Yep.
I used to do that back in high school.
Yeah, we're not smoking weed, unfortunately.
No weed. I think we're out.
Well, you speak for yourself.
Hey, nothing's wrong with weed, folks.
Nothing.
It helps with depression and anxiety and all that crap.
It's not a drug, it's a plant.
It's not a drug.
I really wish I could smoke on this show, but we are in Iowa. It is illegal. I mean, obviously we can talk about it.
We can. What are they going to do to us? Throw us in prison?
Well, exactly. I mean, they're not really going to do anything, but I mean, just being in a state. If I can even light this shit. I'm trying to light sage right now.
No, you're exactly right. That could come back to bite us in the ass.
Exactly. No, trust me. Like, hopefully I got some rappers hopefully coming. I mean, that'd be great having the smoke stash doing a podcast, but can't do that. All right, we'll see how that works. Got a lot of smoke coming in here.
Ooh, that's some strong shit, bro. Smells good though.
Oh yeah, I don't use it for religious purposes.
My mom used to burn this shit all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Did she have like any Eastern values or anything, or did she just?
She was Jewish.
Okay.
So she, once she found out about her heritage, she started doing it more, and that was towards the end of her life.
Okay.
It was, yeah, like I said, the last few months have been pretty rough.
Mm-hmm.
But it just reminds me of her when I smell this shit. So it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Thank you.
Applause to our Jason. Okay.
Okay.
So, what I wanted to get in, this clip with Bloomberg.
I'd like to talk about who we're running against.
Oh my God,
a billionaire who calls women fat broads and horse-faced lesbians. And no, I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I'm talking about Mayor Bloomberg. Democrats take a huge risk if we just substitute one arrogant billionaire for another.
I think we need something different than Donald Trump. I don't think you look at Donald Trump and say we need someone richer in the White House.
When Mayor Bloomberg was busy blaming African Americans and Latinos for the housing crash of 2008, I was right here in Las Vegas, literally just a few blocks down the street, holding hearings on the banks that were taking away homes.
The reason the stop and frisk changed is because Barack Obama sent moderators to see what was going on. The policy was
he can't even talk.
It was, in fact, a violation of every
He's losing
right
his
people
fucking
have.
mind.
The language he used is about stop and frisk. It's about how it turned out. Now, this isn't about how it turned out. This is about what it was designed to do to begin with. You need a different
He's just sitting there like, fuck me.
Everyone up here has released their tax returns, Mayor. I think, and it is a major issue because the President of the United States has been hiding behind his tax returns.
I hope you heard what his defense was. I've been nice to some women.
Come on.
That just doesn't cut it. We are not going to beat Donald Trump with a man who has who knows how many non-disclosure agreements and the drip, drip, drip of stories of women saying they've been harassed and discriminated.
You have to have.
You should also ask how Mayor Bloomberg in 2004 supported George W. Bush for president.
The idea that you're able to have a capital gains tax that you pay at the rate of 20% if you are if you're Mike Bloomberg or whomever it has a whole lot of money, paying at your staffer is paying at 25%.
If we're going into the election of our lives,
Look at they're all holding their hands
against
up.
a president who rose to power by cynically exploiting the frustration of ordinary Americans feeling like leaders weren't speaking to them.
He's right.
And I think that turning to someone like Mayor Bloomberg, who thinks he can buy this election, is no better a way to succeed than turning to somebody like Senator Sanders, who wants to burn the house down.
Yeah, I think I would vote for. I would vote for Buttigieg.
I don't know. I mean, that field is so. I mean, okay. First of all, Elizabeth Warren is totally out of her mind. She's using that against Bloom. Now, you know, Bloomberg did do that stop and frisk policy.
Yeah.
That was his policy in New York City, and it was to get guns off the street. That's all. And yes, he did target minorities. He did, specifically African American youth. And that was to get guns off the street, and it was effective. Now she's calling him out on it. This was like 5 years ago, maybe longer.
Wait, 5 years ago that was stop and frisk?
Right, when he was the mayor. And
I didn't realize he was mayor for that long. I thought it was like 2000s.
Oh, no, I mean, when he was in power, that's what it was, stop and frisk. We got to stop these black guys. You know, you got no Miranda right. You get slammed up against the wall. If you got a gun that's not registered to you, they take it off of you, and, you know, there's one more gun off the street. That was his whole thing. Now they're trying to attack him for it because he's got all this money. I don't know how this is going to work out. And, you know, I think Buttigieg was the most... he had his head in the game. Everybody else was totally out of control. Do you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, Pete Buttigieg was just like, what's going on here? I don't...
Yeah, he seems to be the most conscious and the most centered.
Level-headed.
Level-headed, exactly.
I mean, he's just like shaking his head going, what in the hell are these people talking about? Like Biden. What fucking planet is Joe Biden on?
Yeah, he looks like he's struggling every time he's on television these
days.
He
reminds me of like somebody's grandfather that has dementia. You know, don't know where you are. I mean, okay. And Amy Klobuchar, why the hell is she still in the race? She's only got 2% of the vote.
Well, she came really close in that one state. What was it, Vermont? New Hampshire.
That was Bernie's state.
Yeah.
It's always
Bernie's he won,
state.
Obviously, but she was close second, wasn't she?
And she's from Minnesota. And you know what? Minnesota's got a lot of problems with the Somalis, the refugees from Somalia.
I don't know.
That's a
anything
big
about that.
problem up there. I'm not going to get into that, but you know, there's problems there. But that's one state. It's not the whole country. So,
yeah, this is true.
But out of all those people, I really think Mayor Pete had the best presentation there.
Yeah. The part I was trying to get to in that clip, I couldn't find it.
I see it now.
Well, no, not this clip. That last clip we just watched. There was a point where Elizabeth Warren asked Bloomberg if he would release those disclosure forms with those women.
Yeah, he won't.
Oh no, he won't. But it was just absolutely hilarious watching him just be like, "Fuck."
Well, she's calling him a womanizer, basically a misogynist.
Yep.
He's a billionaire who has a lot of companies, and there's sometimes you have to have NDAs. You have to have those non-disclosure forms. You have to have them so you don't get sued.
Well, yeah, but I think the issue is that he acted, he was sexually harassing these women.
But where's the evidence of that? I didn't see any evidence of him ever sexually. No, I'm not saying he's a good guy. I think that guy is a fucking joke. But I mean, when you're a billionaire and you have that kind of business, and you know women are involved, you got to sign these non-disclosure agreements. And you know what? 90% of those women signed them. And now they're going back saying, oh, it's discrimination because of politics, because he's running for president. So it really complicates the whole process. And now they're attacking him. They're attacking Bernie Sanders. They don't want Bernie Sanders to be the nominee. You know that.
Yep.
Because they're like, if he's the nominee, he's going to destroy our party and Trump's going to win. And you know what? I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yes, we will.
I mean, I think Bernie is the only one who has that following that Trump had back in 2016. Nobody else has people showing up to rallies like that, numbers like that.
Winning.
Winning, that's right.
Winning.
You got to be winning. You got to have some kind of following. What's the point otherwise? Look at what Trump did in 2015. He wasn't even the president yet. I mean, I personally went to 3 Trump rallies, and I'll tell you, the feeling in that place was like you didn't have to worry about nothing. You were surrounded by your peers. Like, you know, there might have been 1 or 2 or 4 protesters.
Yeah,
they get thrown out, whatever, and you know, I don't know. It's a movement. It's a movement, and Bernie is a movement. So I really think Bernie is the only chance.
Yeah, I would agree.
To beat Trump. None of these other suckers. I mean, I don't see any of these people beating him.
So let's talk about that a little bit. You said you've been to 3 Trump rallies. I know you've told me that when you were living in Michigan, you were pretty heavily involved in 2016.
Yep.
So yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
I worked. I moved in June of 2016 to Michigan. He was still obviously campaigning. Then I hooked up with the Trump campaign, and I worked for the Trump campaign up until he was elected. I was volunteering. I didn't get paid anything. I had 2 jobs, and my off time, I would make phone calls. I would knock on doors. I would do everything I could. And I did that for, I don't know, 6-7 months. And then once he got elected, I was still kind of involved, but no, it was a movement. Everybody worked really hard. Nobody thought it was possible that Donald Trump could be the president.
Yeah, I remember that.
But it was imperative that he won Michigan, and that's one of the reasons why I went out there. That wasn't the only reason. Obviously, I hooked up with my girlfriend. That didn't work out. But at least when I was there, I did that, and it was interesting. And I still work for the Trump campaign now.
Okay.
Just not as hard as before, because I really don't think when you have an incumbent president, you don't have to work as hard. You do, but you don't have to do all the crap I did for almost a year.
Well, that's kind of the thing, is he has, despite everything that has happened, he seems to have a pretty strong fan base still.
His base has never wavered. You might have one or two, well, not one or two. You might have a couple thousand that is, I hate. Now, I know that you voted for him in 2016. Now, I know that. But because you were pissed about Hillary and all that, and there's a lot of people that did that. But I'm just saying, I just, it's frustrating because, now he's being labeled as many things: racist, misogynist, God knows, you name it. He's the most evil person in the world. But then look what you got on that side. They can't even explain how they're going to pay for anything. And look, at least this guy's trying. I mean, it's when I'm not going to devote as much time as I did back in to this time, but I will contribute. I'll knock on some doors, but I really don't think it's going to be a battle, because his base will never waver from him, no matter what he says, no matter what he does. And I know that because I've been to these rallies.
Mm-hmm.
All these people, they don't care what he says or does. They all support him, no matter what. I mean, it's you've never gone to a Trump rally.
No, I don't really plan to.
It's you might like it. No, you probably not. I don't know. It's just it's like going to a party.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
I don't know. It's like you're in a room with a bunch of your friends and you're having a good time. Nobody's violent. Nobody's, as much as the mainstream media wants to tell you how Trump rallies are racist, and you know how many minorities and shit I've seen in those rallies, in crowds, blacks, Latinos. It's not just all white people like the news wants to tell you. There are black people in there. There's Mexicans. There's all kinds of different people. And they just love Trump because he's helping them out. So if you depend on mainstream media for your news, you're going to have a problem. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a possibility to be, washed up a little bit.
Well, they call us a cult, like we're some kind of cult. We're just followers of the president, and we support his visions and his policies. That's all it is. I mean, we're not evil. We're not racist. We're not a cult. We're normal people. We just believe what we believe. And we've been shunned. For instance, I have Trump gear. I have a Trump hat. I have Trump shirts and stuff. I can't go wear that shit out in public.
Yeah, it's true.
I will get attacked. I actually wore my Trump hat to a grocery store last year, and
do you mean physically attacked or verbally attacked?
Well, I got screamed at, and it could have escalated to more, but I decided to walk away from the situation and just leave. I mean, I was just minding my own business, shopping for groceries. I forgot to change my hat, because normally I have a beer hat on, but I forgot I had a Trump hat on, and I was at the store, and this woman started screaming at me. I'm like, why are you screaming? I just remembered I had my Trump hat on. I'm like, oh shit, that's why. She's like, how dare you? I'm like, dare me? What did I do? So
do you ever watch Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Great show.
There's this, I can't show it because of
I
copyright.
remember the clip.
Where he wears the hat.
in the car with the biker, right?
I don't know about that. He was meeting a guy for lunch, and he didn't want to see the guy, so he just showed up in a Trump hat, and the guy was like, oh, I gotta go.
No, there was this clip. Same show. Larry David, right?
Yep.
Okay. So,
yeah. Larry David.
So he's driving down the road, Larry David's character, And
I do remember that now.
And this biker, he cuts off this biker, and he's like threatening him, and Larry David puts on the Trump hat, and the biker's like, hey, just watch yourself next time. Because he knew he was a Trump fan. He's like, I'm not going to mess with this guy because he likes Trump. So that was Larry David's way to get out of it. Oh, I'm a Trump fan.
Yep.
Biker's like, yeah, watch yourself next time.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So it was pretty funny. Just that's the way it is in this country. You can't wear Trump stuff.
Nope.
Unless you're trying to get out of a situation or whatever. It's just it's really scary.
So, I know we've probably talked about this quite a bit, but obviously you're a Trump supporter.
Obviously.
Yeah. And with that, there's, you're obviously not oblivious to this. There can be a lot of criticism for someone who supports Trump. So I guess for people who might be listening to this, maybe because I know I voted for him in 2016. I can't really say I stand by him probably as much as you do. I guess why are you a Trump supporter? Why do you back him as much as you do?
You mean to this day?
To this day, yeah.
Because the mainstream media wants to tell. Okay, here's what the mainstream media is doing. And the mainstream media caters to the Democrats. I don't know if you knew that. So
most of it does.
So that's what's going on. And what they want to do is get Trump supporters, their base, Trump's base, to abandon him and go with them. But so far, they haven't given one reason for us to do that. It's only just drumming up more support for his base, and he's actually getting Democrats to come over to our side. I mean, the more stupid shit that they say on these debates and everything else, the more people come over to our side. I don't know. I mean, once you got a base developed like that, you can't really break it up.
So that's true, but I guess you're not answering my question. Like,
okay, what was your question?
Like, why do you? I understand that he has quite a following, and that they're strong. He might be bringing people over, but why? Like, what reasons do you support Trump? Like, what do you see in him that makes him? Why do you like him?
I support Trump because he's for the American people. He's for American values, family values. We're not going to get too deep about religion.
Yeah.
He's against abortion, but we're not. Like I said, we don't get too. It's just general getting back to American values. Like the country used to be really great. When I was a little kid in the '80s, it was different. Now it's like totally a different place. So he's like going back to that nostalgia thing, where you can be great, you can have your own business, you can do whatever you want. Whereas that kind of was abandoned in the last 10 years, until he came out on the scene. And nobody in Washington likes him because he's not a corporate crook like all these people in Washington, like Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, and all these people who have no term limits. And they're making millions and millions of dollars to sit on their ass. That's why I support him. Because Trump, he doesn't even get paid. He donates his salary to charities and stuff. He doesn't make any money. And they're going to try to say all this stuff. I don't know. I support him because he's like looking out for all of us. I really think he is. You might not see that. And the majority of people here might not see that. But he is. What's your second choice? These clowns? Warren, Bloomberg, Biden, Sanders? Come on. I mean, you got to really think about the future of this country and what's going to happen if socialism takes over. We're all going to be in trouble. I mean, you got to think about now. Capitalism, it's the way of this country. It's always been the way of this country. Why change it now? I mean, everything's fine. I mean, why would you do that? You can't make universities. You can't.
But you're talking about free education.
Yeah,
the thing Bernie wants to do.
You can't do that.
I don't think it's possible.
$30 trillion just for the healthcare measure, and then you throw in the free tuition. That's another.
The thing he doesn't understand is,
but taxpayers pay for that.
Exactly.
Working people have to pay for that. Now, I'm not for that. I'm not going to work my ass off to get somebody a free college education or any of that shit. I think that's unfair.
Well, and that's the thing is, if we had a prime grade A college, not college, just education in general, that'd be one thing, but we don't. We're one of the worst countries when it comes to education.
Very true.
So, I mean, it's like the high school. It's like that guy who drops out of high school or, gets his GED and works.
Like Bill Gates.
Yeah. Well, that's not a very good example.
Well, Bill Gates didn't go to college, and he's one of the richest people in the... I mean, it's just... You don't need that.
I see what you're saying. You don't necessarily need college to succeed.
As long as you're smart, as long as you're a capitalist and you're smart and you build your business from the ground up, you shouldn't be penalized for that just to help other people that don't want to work. I think that's unfair, and that's what Bernie Sanders wants to do. That's what Elizabeth Warren wants to do. Bloomberg wants to spend all his money, and he's going to run out of money. It's just, to me, it's pointless. I don't know.
Well, I guess that I don't know how you feel about this. You're gonna see this as I'm pulling it up.
Roger Stone.
Roger Stone. I'm sure you have an opinion on that.
Yes, I think Roger Stone was blackballed. I think he was ridiculous what happened to him.
Really?
He was set up. He shouldn't even have got 4 years. They wanted to give him 9 or 10 years in prison.
40 months. That's not 4 years. Oh no. It's about 4 years.
But he'll
probably only do about 3 though.
He'll do good, good behavior. But I mean, this whole thing, they want to tie Roger Stone to Trump. I mean, that's not fair either. Those dealings were all on him. They had nothing to do with the president.
Well, if that might be true, but I mean, do you think the fact that Trump associates with someone like that
that could have been
harms
me.
his demeanor at all?
Well, that could have been me. That could have been anybody that supported his campaign. What they were doing back then, he just got sentenced.
You're talking about in 2016?
Right.
Okay.
So they were lowballing everybody that had anything to do with Trump. Look how many people went to prison. Look not just Roger Stone. Look at all the people that went to prison for stuff that had nothing to do with President Trump. It was all like, violations, SEC violations, crooked stuff. They all want to tie it to Trump. The media is trying to tie this Roger Stone thing to Trump, just like they did to everybody else.
He was Trump's lawyer.
Like Paul Manafort, all these people that went to prison that had nothing to do with the campaign. I mean, it's just crazy. And the media wants you to see this because they can't stop. They're looking for any way to get him out of office. That's what this is all about. How can we get rid of him? Impeachment didn't work. That went all the way to the end, and he got acquitted. We all knew he was going to be acquitted.
I understand that. You could argue that a big part of the reason why he didn't get acquitted was the House or the Senate. What was the last one? The Senate. The Senate was
Republican controlled.
Yeah.
And so will the House. I really think that after this debacle, this crazy stuff, Republicans are going to own both.
You think so?
I pretty much, I think I know so. Because the American people are tired of this. Like, we just want to get things done and run our life and live our lives. This stuff is just a big distraction from what's really going on. Now, if Nancy Pelosi is serious about everything, she will shut her mouth and try to be partisan. She can't. She can't help herself. She's out of control. I don't know. So we'll see what happens there. We got a couple months before we figure this out.
Yeah. November this year. It's kind of crazy to think about that.
November 3rd.
November 3rd?
November 3rd.
Yeah, I wish I was more in the loop. I mean, I've been trying to get more in the loop for the last couple weeks preparing for this. But yeah, when it comes to politics, I'm a little...
Well, are you going to vote? You're
Depends.
hesitating. You're hesitating.
If it's Bernie and Trump, I won't vote.
You won't vote for Bernie?
I won't vote for Bernie. I won't vote for Trump. I can't vote for either.
See, that's the problem. That it's going to be the big problem is if Bernie gets a nomination. We all know Trump's already got it on the Republican side. So whoever Trump faces, the Democrats are just hoping. Whoever gets it, we're going to vote for him. But if it's Bernie, there's going to be a big problem because people don't like socialism.
Yep.
They don't.
True.
And you know what? The only other candidate up there that isn't as far whacked out left is probably Pete Buttigieg.
See, and that's my thing. We were just talking about this on our break.
Right.
If it was Pete versus Trump, I would probably go out of my way and vote for Pete.
And a lot of people would. But I don't think that's going to happen because this doesn't have the numbers.
Yeah, he had the numbers early on, but as it's been shaping up the last couple of weeks, that seems to be diminishing.
Right. And, you got Joe Biden. I really think he'll win South Carolina. But I think after that, he's going to have no choice but to just drop. But I really think Bernie's going to get the nomination. I really do. I know a lot of far-left Democrats don't like that, but that's what's going to happen. I think Bernie's going to get, and the Democrats don't like that because they know that nobody's going to vote for a socialist. I mean, his plans...
I wouldn't say nobody, but I think the majority of American...
Not half the country.
No. I would say the majority of Americans aren't going to vote for that. There's too much criticism. You have... I understand that socialism is not the same as communism, but it's all in the same Marxist branch. It doesn't fucking work. It's never worked. It's not going to work now.
And another thing about Bernie, he still to this day praises Fidel Castro in Cuba and Venezuela, and he praises these socialist countries.
Yeah, Venezuela is a shit show. Everybody knows that.
But he praises these countries, and he acts like this is how we're supposed to live. No. I don't want to wait on bread lines to get food. I want to be able to go to the grocery store and buy what I want. That's not cool, what he's saying. Oh, you should be able to wait in bread lines because thank God for that. Are you kidding me? I mean, what is this guy talking about?
I think...
Go move to Cuba then, Bernie.
Inflation in Venezuela might hit 10 million% this year.
Right.
According to Euronews, IMF experts expect that the inflation in Venezuela will reach 10 million%. This means a product that at one point cost the equivalent of $1 will now cost the equivalent of 10 million.
See, does that make sense to you? You think that would work in our country?
No, it would be a disaster. I mean, Venezuela is by no means a first world country. They're not on the same economic scale as we are. There are images of people carrying entire stacks of cash just to buy a loaf of bread. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Bernie says this is okay because at least if you're waiting in bread lines, you might get some bread. But I don't know what the hell this guy's talking about. I mean, he's got a lot of followers.
Yeah.
I
don't think any of them are educated, though. That's the problem. They paint Bernie Sanders to be the Jesus Christ of politics, and it's not fucking true. I don't care what anybody says.
Bernie's not a politician either, just like Trump. They're both not politicians.
Well, but Bernie has actually spent time in politics. Trump has not.
He's a senator. He's been a senator since I was a little kid, even before that.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy doesn't vote for anything. He never really did anything good for the country since he was a senator. So what makes you think he's going to do anything good as a fucking president? Just my view anyway. We cut off? Break time?
We can't take a break. I was just getting a lot of static, so I was resetting it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but, on that note, let's take a break. I need to use the restroom. And then I think we'll do another however long and then finish it up. How's that sound?
Yeah, let's switch the topic when we get back.
Okay, cool.
Maybe to like music or something.
Yeah, let's do that.
But that was a good politics run there.
All right. No, that was great. All right, break. And we are back.
What's up, y'all? We're back.
With RJ. Now on a break, we were talking a little bit. We wanted to kind of transition to music, get off this all this political garbage.
Yeah.
So story I wanted to tell, because I don't know how many of you know this, but I've had a semi-career in hip-hop. I've put out a couple mixtapes and albums. I got one in the works that should be out hopefully soon.
Cretin, right?
What was that?
Cretin.
Mick Cretin, yep.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Really good stuff, y'all. You should check it out.
I appreciate it. Maybe we can listen to a little bit of it. But anyways, I was talking about every time I get a play, because the company that I put my songs through on Spotify is TuneCore, and basically it's like 0.8 cents a play or 0.08 cents a play. It's such an insignificant amount. It's really hard to make a living doing that. But story I wanted to tell, when I was in college, I was a jazz guitar student, and my teacher, he was this guy that knew a lot of people that were in rock. I don't remember exactly the name of the artist, but he knew this guy that had a single on the radio back in the 80s or 90s. And this motherfucker, he showed this, my teacher, they were friends at the time, obviously. He showed him this stack of checks that was about an inch thick, and that amounted to a penny.
1 penny.
1 penny. A stack of checks.
Penny.
1 penny. Oh, man. So that just shows you how little you make.
Well, it's just, it's a hobby. But, but you got a job, you're going to school.
Yep.
But, that's your passion.
Mm-hmm,
you have a passion for music, just like me. I've been putting it off for years. I just recently started getting back into it. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, you're fine.
But in the last 2 months, I've been seriously dedicated to music again. And it's tough. I mean, but I commend you for doing that.
Well, thank you.
And never give up on your dreams. That's the key.
Well, thank you. Do you want to elaborate a little more on what you've been working on?
I've been doing voice sampling. Specifically, I've been trying to learn German.
Loan of $1 million.
Oh no,
like that?
Not a loan.
Loan of $1 million.
No loans. Learning a new language is pretty fucking tough. So.
So as you've been learning German?
I've been trying to learn German.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just, I love the band Rammstein.
Yep.
That's not the only reason. I just thought that I could express myself through music, and I thought doing that using a foreign language would be more like, to me, it's just like a release. It's really hardcore aggressive music. I know that you're into hip hop, and your stuff is pretty aggressive too. I've heard it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean,
but it's very, I've heard your lyrics, and I think it's great what you're doing. Any way to show, you just how you feel about me. It's a personal thing.
Yeah.
How you feel about music. Everybody does it a different way. Like, for instance, when my mom died, I was really into Queen. I was singing a lot of Queen songs, like Another One Bites the Dust, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started getting darker, and I was like, okay, Rammstein, that's my thing. And I had to learn the language so I knew what they were talking about. Otherwise, what's the fucking point? You gotta learn the language.
Yep.
So I've been a lot into foreign music lately. Like you said, you were into foreign films a lot lately.
That's been my thing.
So, that kind of thing. Like, educate yourself on different languages and how people, do their thing. And, I really like it. So that's what I've been doing. It doesn't make me depressed or anything. I actually love it. I feel better. So the fact that you're doing your own music and you write your own music, that's amazing. That's really cool.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I will say I'm kind of taking a hiatus right now. I I guess just to emphasize on it, my character that I've been portraying in rap, McCreaton, this character I'm portraying is a very reckless, not very morally just character, and I don't really mean to talk too much about this in the podcast, but I did recently go through a divorce, and
we know about that.
Yep. And I think that played a lot into it, that mentality that I had, doing that rap, being very reckless, not really thinking about other people. You know, it was fucked up on both of our parts, but where I fucked up was that, I think, just not being the person I needed to be, just because I was so engrossed into that mentality of being that kind of reckless person.
You were engrossed, but you know what? You dedicated your life to that, and it didn't work out the way it was supposed to work out. And things just happened.
Yep.
And you dealt with it the way you had to deal with it. You came back here. I mean, that's hard. I went through that too, as you know, when I went to Michigan and came back here. I tried everything I could, and I just couldn't get through to her. So, you know, I get what you're saying. And you use that through your music because it makes you feel better.
Yep.
And that's what I do. And yes, it's a struggle, especially if you know, you're in the process of a divorce. It's not even final.
The divorce is finalized.
Oh, it's final. Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep.
So it's done. So now it's time to like move on.
Yep. Exactly.
Find your identity and go with it, because if you don't have that, you don't have anything. That's why I'm so involved in like extracurricular stuff like politics and music and bars and shit like that. I mean, you gotta have fun in life too.
Yep.
You can't just dedicate your whole life to a job or school, or I mean, you can, but you also have to find time to unwind and have fun.
Yeah, I think that's a really important balance to find.
You have to. Otherwise, you're going to sit around and you're going to feel sorry for yourself, and you're going to be so depressed that you don't even know what the hell you're going to do the next day.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, it took me 5 months to figure this out, and I finally did. I needed a regular job, and I got one. It's not ideal, but it's a job. Beer crack. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Yeah, I heard it.
Bruh, bruh,
Bruh.
Small loan.
So I wanted to show you all these. I got 5 Trump sound bites here.
Small loan of $1 million.
Don't be rude. You are fake news.
China.
China, where the coronavirus came from.
China. I will build a great wall.
That's right.
It just got 10 feet higher.
You know, China. That's funny. That's where coronavirus came from. China.
Yeah, it's coming back to bite him now, huh? Talking China.
Yes, I agree with you there. But I will be civil because I'm cool. You know, I'm just...
You are cool. I'm glad that I could experience this podcast with you. It's like I said in the beginning, I really don't think I could do this for the first time with anyone else.
Well, I hope you have me on again, because I have a lot of good ideas about...
We have an interesting discussion every time.
And I don't want to like drown your show with politics, because it's your show.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do my own podcast if I want to, but I just don't have the setup like you do, which is pretty cool. You got the setup, everything's cool. You can play video clips and all that.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of setup, so this has really been a really good experience. I like it.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Like we talked about in break, I am planning on having you back St. Patty's Day.
That's going to be okay. St. Patty's Day's podcast is going to be fucking great.
It's going to be lit.
We're going to be having Jameson. Mm-hmm. We're going to be having Guinness. We're going to be playing Irish fucking songs. I hope we'll play Irish songs.
Maybe if we can find some copyright free stuff. That's always. I mean, I know I'm not getting monetized, but we'll figure it out.
No, it's going to be great. I mean, First we'll bar hop, then we'll come back and do a podcast. It's gonna be great.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and I haven't celebrated St. Pat's for like 2 years. Yeah, probably about 2 years.
Oh really?
Just because it wasn't the same for me, and I'm born on March 19th, 2 days after St. Pat's.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
well, I'll have to wish you happy birthday in the podcast then.
Well, that's a good thing. I mean, a St. Patty's Day podcast would be really awesome. And we can talk about Irish history and all kinds of shit like that.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, my Irish heritage is definitely gonna come through.
You're definitely fucking Irish, McAllister.
The McAllister hours.
That's like my friend Mike McIntyre. He's as Irish as you can get. Or my other friend from Michigan. You know what his name is? Mick McRae. You can't get more Irish than that. Mick McRae. Hello, my name is Mick McRae, and I'm going to be shooting Jemison now. Mick McRae. How Irish can you get? That's as Irish as you can get.
You got one Mick or O, you're fucking set. But if you got two, holy shit.
Mick McRae. That's about
Mick
as
McRae.
Irish as you can get.
Holy fuck. It's like 150% Irish right there. Jesus.
Oh, man.
It's always funny running to those people that are like 5-10% Irish.
Yeah, they're not shit.
Yeah, they make a big fucking deal about it. Like, have you ever been pissed drunk on whiskey screaming at someone? Unless you've been there, you're not fucking Irish.
Yeah, well, you don't have to be Irish to be pissed drunk and scream at somebody. I will go back to my friend Laura, who died again, and I don't really want to talk too much about that, but when I had her over to my house, she was out of control, and she wasn't Irish. So
Yeah, you tend to hang out with some pretty crazy fuckers, me included.
Well, before you, I've hung out with a lot of crazy people. I'm talking about gangsters. I'm talking about a lot of things I shouldn't probably say on this program. But I'm surprised I'm still alive, honestly.
It's good to be alive.
It is good to be alive. And I'm telling you, my friend Laura, may she rest in peace. Yeah, that's pretty sad that she died from drinking. I don't want to go down that road.
No, I get it. It is a big epidemic, though. I know we're not. I know we're pretty hypocritical right now, as we're both a couple beers in, but.
But it's just beers. We're not drinking shots, and we're not slamming vodka or anything like that.
No, there's a level where you can control it. I mean, I will always advocate marijuana over
marijuana is like the best thing you can have for depression or anxiety, anything like that. It's I don't consider it a drug. It's like taking a pill, like a Tylenol.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, our government won't legalize it on a federal level. They leave it up to the states. So that's the problem. If we want legal weed, we got to go to Illinois, and then we can't even bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
No, and it's just, it needs to be federally legalized. It's ridiculous. It can help a lot of people. It really can.
Yeah, I mean, people with chronic illnesses. I can't tell you how many times I've had friends living in Iowa where you can get CBD. You can get CBD in Iowa,
but that's not the same.
No, it's not the same. But I think there are people who can take concentrates. It's like less than 80 people in the entire state. People with cancer issues. But anyways, there are a lot of people I know with elderly people in their family who are suffering from serious issues who smoke marijuana illegally because it helps them.
Well, they have to. And the problem is like, okay, I have a friend in Michigan. I'm not going to mention her name for anonymity purposes. Anyway, she's in severe pain. And she lives in Michigan where it's legal.
Mm-hmm.
It's legal in Michigan. Recreational, it's legal. She won't take it because she doesn't like the way it makes her feel. But I'm like,
that's understandable.
But I'm like, you have to, because, you know, I can't say I have to, but I mean, she's like, I'm going to try this CBD. I'm like, you live in a state where it's legal. Why not try it? And she's like, I don't like the way it makes me feel. I get nauseous, I get tired, and I don't know. For me, I guess everybody's different. Like, when I smoke it, dude, I feel like really good.
Yeah.
Like, I feel confident. I feel like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I guess to each their own.
Yeah. The issue I come across with it is paranoia. Definitely. But it's not, I wouldn't even really describe it as paranoia. It's more of an awareness. Like, you know, if I get really baked and I walk into a store, I can handle it, but the whole time I'm kind of really extra sensitive and aware.
Well, because you can't, like, you know, when you're around strangers.
Yeah, it gets a little weird.
It's awkward. Like,
Yeah.
it's like if you're really stoned and you go to Burger King and you don't know how, like, if you're
You don't
really
know how to order.
And you don't know how to order. And they're like, sir, what do you want? And you're like, give me a minute. I need to think.
I need to think for about 5 minutes.
And they're like, hey, hurry up, you know?
Hurry the fuck
So,
up, yeah.
it's very awkward. I get that.
Well, you know, if we were living in Cali or something where it was legal and acceptable socially, it'd be a different story. But unfortunately, here in Iowa, I don't think that's the case quite yet.
But you know what's funny about Iowa? I've been out here since 2008, give or take 1 year. And what I've noticed out here is everybody gets high.
Everybody smokes pot.
Everybody gets high. And there's only certain jobs where you can get away with that. You got to be careful with that. I mean, you know, I'm not going to mention where I work. Well, shit, earlier in the podcast. Anyway.
Nobody's going to watch this.
Oh, I think some people
that works there.
I think some people will. It doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah. They're not going to fire you over it.
The first thing I noticed when I moved out here is that A, everybody's cool. B, everybody smokes weed. I mean, it's great. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Michigan, and I've been thinking about going back there, but now I don't want to go back there.
I wouldn't recommend it, man. Everything I've heard about Michigan, it just seems like a shithole. I'm not gonna lie. I know you're from there. I don't mean disrespect, but
no, it's getting better over there. But the problem with Michigan is there's more jobs now than there was 2 years ago. The only problem is they don't pay enough.
Yeah,
like you could work at a place and they'll pay you like $8 an hour. That doesn't pay the bills.
No, it doesn't pay shit.
You have to have like 3 jobs.
Well, that's kind of I will say Des Moines is like in the top 3 for best cities to live.
They're number 1 actually.
It is number 1. That's what I thought.
I talked to my manager, my job that I recently got, and he actually came from East Lansing.
Oh, really?
He's a Spartan fan.
Okay.
And he's an MSU alum.
Okay.
And he told me, he's like, I had to decide whether I wanted to stay in East Lansing or go to West Des Moines, Iowa. And he said, I'm going to go to West Des Moines, Iowa because housing is less.
Yep.
Cost of living is less.
More jobs.
Hourly wage is higher. So he took a gamble and he came out here. And guess what? He makes a shitload of money. But he's got a lot of responsibilities to deal with. I mean, he's running this whole store by himself. And he's, 10 years younger than me. He's still in his 30s. And this guy, he knows his shit. One of those things where in that business costs, you got to do all this kind of math. I don't know. It's complicated.
Yeah, no, it's a lot to open a business, especially a restaurant. And the problem with opening a restaurant is the business it's so dependent on customers that it's not really financially feasible. A lot of these bars and restaurants that just start up, they're lucky if they break even in their first year.
Well, this place is a chain, and they've been around for
that's
about
different.
15 years, and they got about 120 restaurants around the country. So
I did not know that.
But he's on the top of the chain. I mean, this guy, he could eventually be like district manager, oversee everything. This guy knows his shit, and he's only like 33 years old. He's strictly business. So it's getting back into that thing. You know, I like the whole idea that he's running it right, how it's supposed to be run. So that's where I'm at now. Just to have a job is comforting enough.
Yeah, you gotta have a job. I've been unemployed for months on end, and it gets really stressful. Just you're going crazy. You don't have a lot to do. You don't have a lot of purpose. Yeah. So it's if you want to be successful, you have to the first step is to get a job.
Well, and you got to work for somebody. And then, you know, if it works out, then you get bumped up. You get a raise. But you got to go through 6 months of that shit. 6 months.
You got to go through a lot of shit.
Right.
Yep.
And just like Palmer's, we won't bring that up again, but you know what I mean. You could work at Palmer's for 30 years and never get a fucking raise.
Yep.
You know, it's just the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the thing between working private and working corporate. I've always preferred private businesses, but there's a downfall of that. It could be, you know, to a point where the people up top are taking everything, anything they can get, and squeezing everybody else. That's where it gets fucked up. Whereas, you know, in corporate, the person up top is still making a lot, but they take care of everybody else.
Right, and they have to. Unlike Palmer's, where, like,
they don't give a fuck.
They just want money. All they care about is money. They don't care about people that are busting their ass. Like I said, I don't want to mention names. I wish I could. I really want to mention names, but I'm not gonna. I mean,
Don't be rude.
Don't be rude. I'm just saying, people like, oh God, I really want to mention their names. I really want to mention their names. But I don't think I should. That wouldn't be very...
Probably not.
But I want to. I want to so bad.
So, I'm seeing you brought a notebook. Do you have anything else you wanted to talk about today?
I wrote down a couple topics. Okay, one more thing I want to talk about.
In terms of politics?
No, not politics.
Oh, different.
I want to talk about bar people. People at the bar that you got to deal with. This is very interesting because when you go to the bar and you're a regular at this bar, you see people every day, right? And sometimes they act a little crazy.
Yep.
And you don't know how to react. Okay, I don't know. This is like a George Carlin thing. People at the bar. How do you deal with people at the bar? You know, you want to tell them, shut the fuck up and drink your drink and mind your own fucking business. Go outside and smoke. Leave me alone. Shit like that.
Yeah.
So I've been dealing with that for like the last 3 days. Like my friend died, so all her friends are showing up at the bar, right?
So
it's not a big deal. It's just
which bar do you are regular at the University Tap?
University Tap, yeah, it's a great bar.
It's in Windsor Heights.
It's a family bar. Just so everybody knows, it's really cool. It's pretty cheap. You can get drunk for like $20.
That's not bad. Getting drunk for $20.
Now, if you want shots, it's going to cost you extra.
Yeah,
but
that's
no.
really how it
Anyway,
goes.
There's some people up there. You know, they're just bar people. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
People that are there 7 days a week. They got nothing to do. They're living off. You know,
they get off work and they're fucking
not work. No,
they're not.
They're on disability. So all they do is go to the bar and spend their disability money at the bar.
Now that's a good use of taxpayer dollars right there.
Well, hey, that's the American dream, my friend. That's the American dream. Am I right? That's the American dream. Spend your taxpayer money at the fucking bar. Who else wouldn't do that? When you're 60 years old, what else are you going to do? Go up to the fucking bar and drink yourself to death, and you're going to fucking blame everybody else for your sorrows. I've been seeing this the last couple of weeks, and it drives me crazy. I'm like, how can these people be here 7 days a week? We talked about that. I know you don't frequent bars a lot.
No, not really. I'm more of a like to drink at home kind of guy.
What about Star Bar?
I like to go to Star Bar. For those of you who don't know, those who might be listening, that's on Ingersoll and 28th.
I think it's a good bar.
It is a good bar.
Everybody should check it out. But don't go to Palmer's on Ingersoll. Boycott that place.
Don't support them. No. They hire a bunch of illegals.
I'm gonna get a bunch of shit for this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get a bunch of shit for this.
Maybe,
but I don't care because
you don't work there anymore.
I'm never gonna get hired back from them anyway. They're never gonna hire me.
Oh no,
especially after this.
Yeah, I already burned my bridge with them, and this, if anything, is fucking sealing the deal.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
could go back tomorrow, crawling on my hands and knees, and be like, Kurt, oh shit. Sir, give me a job. Please give me a job.
He said turtle.
Turtle.
He said turtle.
Whatever. Who gives a fuck?
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's
like
good.
what? They're gonna fire me again? You know, like what the hell are they gonna do?
Well, we're never going back, so
I guess they could sue me for libel, but libel. But I mean, it's not like anything we've said isn't true.
It is true.
It's all true. So we're not talking bullshit. I'm not talking something that didn't happen.
No, it's fucking true. I'm telling you. Fuck it. You know what? I'm not gonna say. Okay. Ingersoll, stay away from there.
Stay away from Ingersoll. I mean, stay away from all Palmers, but especially Ingersoll. Fuck Ingersoll.
That person who's in charge of that place is devil. She's the devil.
Yeah. I mean, I
right
won't
or
say
wrong.
that.
She's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention her name.
You know, that's a really...
Fuck it. Let's mention her name. Patty.
Yep.
She's fucking crazy.
Fucking crazy. We see a short, fat lady with blonde hair. I don't know what the fuck.
Walk away.
Yeah.
Don't order anything there. Walk away. Go to fucking Firehouse Subs.
Go to Firehouse. Go to Jimmy John's. Go anywhere
to
else.
Jersey Mike's. Get the hell away from there.
I'll even say go Panera Bread, even though I don't really like them.
No, Panera's better than Palmer's. I'll give you that. Hell yes.
Yeah.
Agreed. 100%. So, anything else on your mind? We're going to switch topics here.
No. Well, we already talked about Palmer's. I don't know if we want to get into that again.
No. Let's get away from that.
Do you want to dive back into politics? Because I don't know. There might be a couple other things I maybe wanted to...
If you want... Hey, it's your show.
Oh, okay. Here's what I want to talk about. So before you showed up, I don't know how long we're going to do this, but there's this artist. He's a Polish artist. He was a big influencer in metal album covers, which I know with Rammstein and everything, they probably had big influence from this. But this is the work of Zdzisław Beksiński.
Okay.
Beksinski.
And that's an album cover.
No, this isn't an album cover, but he heavily influenced a lot of art that was put into metal covers.
Right. I like that one with the helmet, right?
Which one?
This one down.
Oh.
Helmet.
Yeah, there we go.
That's a good one.
Oh, but, I don't want to go Twitter.
No, I know. I just wanted to see it. That's cool.
Oh, well, I was trying to put it in. Okay, here. No, that didn't work either. Okay, well, here it is. Here's the image. But I don't know. I just think it's interesting. Apparently, he didn't title any of his paintings. None of them.
Right.
And, you know, obviously a lot of themes of war. He was Polish, so a lot of his family had background from being in the Holocaust. So that, I mean, I think if you look at his work, you can kind of see that.
Oh, yeah. You can see how dark it is. It's great.
This isn't working.
No, the artwork is really
here
great.
we go. Yeah, this image really struck out to me.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up. I like it though. I like it.
I see a lot of German in this.
There is a lot of German in that neck. I mean, it's if you watch old Rammstein videos, you'd understand. But I mean, it's other than that, it's German influence for sure.
Yeah, a lot of images of bones, figures that are almost resemble skeletons.
Well, what do you expect?
Image right here of what seems to be a very skinny skeleton covered in
That's a skeleton.
Yeah, covered in some kind of like fabric with blood in the front. Very dark images.
That's a creepy one right there.
That is really creepy.
That is a creep. I like it though, but it's really scary. That reminds me of like, I don't even know. That creeps me out.
This one really struck out to me too. Oh fuck. Oh, here we go. But you can see there's just pillars of.
That reminds me of hell.
Yeah, like the concept of hell.
That's what hell would be, with these pillars and
just endless.
Like you can't jump from them. So obviously that's like, it reminds me of hell or Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Either one.
We should do a Mortal Kombat video sometime. Have us just both playing it.
I don't know. I mean,
but he does a lot of architecture. Oh, that's not a very big image.
Oh, I like that image. That's a good one.
Yeah, you can't. It's small. You can't really see it, but this right here.
That's before it burned down.
Oh, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's loosely based. Okay, here we go. Here's a bigger one.
Yeah.
It's like loosely based on it. A lot of similarities. But I was watching this documentary before he got here, and apparently he was really big into architecture. He actually had a job being an working in that kind of architecture. But yeah, that's very obviously a very lustful image.
That's a cool one. I like that.
Yeah. Two skeletons holding each other. Just really dark, interesting. I don't know.
That one's kind of creepy.
That one is really creepy.
But I like it. I like the fangs and you know what it is? It's disorder. That's
yeah.
Once you have disorder, man, that's it.
I'm gonna look this guy up. Fuck, what's his name? No shit. Here we go. Francisco Goya. Are you familiar with any of his work?
Yep.
Look at a couple of his images. So this guy, he was a recluse. He was very disturbed. This is probably the most famous one. But he did a series of paintings in his house in the last 10 years of his life. He painted the walls of his house with these images.
That's the last. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I see that. I see it now.
But he did that. Like I said, this is probably the most famous one where it depicts. It doesn't really say on here, but it depicts. This is supposed to be based on some god, and he's devouring his son, which is what the myth is, and that's what this painting represents. I don't know. Looking at that other artist, what's his name? Beksinski, however that is, but I don't know. Very similar. Oh, this is based off the French Revolution, I believe.
1808.
So that's a scene where soldiers are obviously gunning down civilians mercilessly. But I don't know. It's just interesting. A lot of these paintings have a lot of relevance now in this day and age.
No, they do. They do.
It's just interesting to think how 300-400 years ago people were in very similar circumstances to what we were in.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they were, but I mean, not
to the point, maybe, but
not
similar.
where they're like starving to death and dying. And
well, people are starving to death and dying on our streets.
Homeless people. Yeah, I mean, there's a homeless epidemic going on. 500,000 people in this country are homeless. 500,000 people, and they just need jobs.
Yep.
So I think once they get jobs, everything will be all right.
Well, that's kind of the problem.
They can't get them.
Well, they can't get them. A lot of companies are automating a lot of jobs. So that's an issue. Even me going to programming, they predict a lot of those low-level programming jobs are going to go to AI, which is scary as fuck. I think
it is because it took me almost 2 months to get a job again. I already had experience. I can't even imagine these homeless people that a lot of them don't want to work. And some of them are happy living on the streets, but we got to clean up these streets,
Yeah, I mean, some people are. I don't think people are happy living in the streets.
Some of them are.
Some of them are, but I don't know. There's a lot of drug issues. We were talking about this too. There's a documentary I very vividly remember of a man. This might have been the UK, but a man was on the streets and he was doing everything he could to get $20 so he could get a crack rock and smoke it. And I know it's a really insignificant amount of money. Maybe giving a homeless man $1, $2, $5. I know that probably doesn't mean a lot for some people, but I mean, that's not going to a good cause.
No.
People getting fucked up.
It's like when I was downtown working at Palmer's downtown, there was some homeless people that I could tell that were they were
I
on
remember
drugs.
that.
So I would buy their lunch, but I would not give them money. I wouldn't give them money. I'd be like, you come in here, I'll buy your lunch. That's it. I'm not going to give you money because you're going to spend it on drugs.
Exactly.
I mean, I tried to help as much as I could. But, that's what we're dealing with nowadays.
Yep. Well, I think where are we at here? I think we're at... So let's see. I think we're at about 2 hours already. Is there anything else you want to touch upon?
How about you?
Me? Oh, I'm good. Politically, I got everything out of the way that I wanted to. I showed you those paintings. I thought
those are really good. I like those.
Yeah.
That one was crazy. That one reminded me of hell. Yeah, that one. That was a scary picture. Because that's like what hell literally looks like. You can't jump from that pillar to that one.
No.
There's no way you can.
You're trapped around a campfire.
You're screwed.
And we can't zoom in on this, but there are people, skull people here. So that's kind of...
You can't make that jump even if you tried. Look at the distance. It's like 1,000 yards.
And it's like right there, too. That's the really shitty part.
You're going to fall in the pit of hell. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I got nothing else.
It's great. It's great. I like the picture. I love art like that.
Yeah, you being German and you really liking Rammstein, which is a heavy metal band. I guess I don't know how much of their artwork is influenced by this, but I remember hearing that this artist influenced quite a bit of metal.
Oh
artwork.
yeah,
maybe like Sabbath. There's a early Sabbath cover that I distinctly remember is a lot like this guy.
Lex.
NIB was on it.
Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. That was their best album. But Rammstein, they're into the dark stuff. But
I guess that's my point. I don't know if this is like.
No, when they make videos, they look like this.
They do look like that. Okay.
They're kind of like hopeless, to make you think like you have no hope.
Yeah.
That's just the way they operate. I know that's depressing.
All right. Well, I think on that note, we're gonna exit. This has been a great first podcast. I'm so glad that RJ can come on. Keep in mind there will be a podcast with my good friend and rapper Jackson B. Place. Very
y'all listen to that. Y'all listen to that. It's gonna be good.
Very, very talented individual. This has been great. RJ will be back on the podcast St. Patty's, so stay tuned.
It's gonna be fun, y'all.
That's gonna be a fucking good time.
It's gonna be fun.
We're gonna get drunk. It's gonna be awesome. All right, guys. Love you. Have a good one.
Peace out.
Peace. Fuck yeah.